If you have a mother who's attention seeking, manipulative, has her own unresolved trauma, is toxic or unhealthy in some way, this video is for you. Do you ever notice that there's a cycle or a pattern in the way that you interact with her? There's a familiar sequence of events in your relationship. So it usually starts out with a bit of tension or conflict, where it's something that she says or doesn't say, or a subtle jab, a guilt trip, or attention-seeking behavior that begins to show up. It could be a full-out conflict where your words are twisted, or you're gaslit, or minimized, or dismissed, or there's an effort made to control or criticize you in some way. So then you begin to pull back. You might tell yourself, like, I'm done with this. I can't keep doing this. Or maybe you tell yourself, we just need space and then we'll be able to address it or talk about it. So you take that space and you begin to try to set a boundary, but then guilt creeps in, or a longing creeps in, or fear creeps in, fear of abandonment, fear of loss of the relationship. And you start second guessing yourself and saying, maybe I said too much. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. You start having empathy for her, sympathizing for her feelings, even though deep inside, you know, it's clear that you were the one that was violated. So you might reach out, or you allow for surface level interaction from her. And maybe that's like small talk. You don't really ever say what you wanted to say that caused the distance in the first place. You silence yourself, you shrink down. You try again, hoping that maybe things will be different this time. And for a minute, it feels good. And you get a dopamine hit in this stage, because this is where your fear of abandonment gets a little bit of relief, because it's like, okay, we're talking again. But you know, deep down inside, the real issues, the real problems have never been addressed, acknowledged. They've never been owned. So it builds again. The tension, the conflict, right? You find yourself back in a place of resentment, of not being heard, not being understood, your pain not being acknowledged, and the cycle starts all over again. And deep inside, you're hoping for repair, even though you keep getting rejection. You're trying. You're the one that's the adult in the room, and you're being met with this wall. Like, you might be the one who wants to be vulnerable, who wants to have depth in the relationship, but you keep running up against this barrier, this resistance. Some of you are going to be very familiar with what I'm saying. You're very familiar with this pattern. You can almost feel it building up. You can feel yourself building up to the conflict and the distance. Or you'll go for a period of time where everything is calm and you're like, when is it going to come? Because the pattern has been so consistent. And this dynamic can feel a lot like the cycle